So we start. The sentence we start from today is a continuation of the previous sentence. Only beginnings are accomplished here. Our basis matter seems alone complete. That is our life. In our life, in our vital nature, we want happiness, we want love, we want harmony, we want power. In our mind, we might want light, we want knowledge, but we only have beginnings, fragments, bits and pieces of this. Only the physical base, matter, where there is no ego, where there is no demand, which has obeyed the divine plan, forms, shapes, objects, atoms, molecules, they have no demands. They do exactly what they've been made to do. So that is complete. But the moment the vital nature, subconscious nature, movements of our being, desires, thoughts, ideas, we have our own contributions. I believe this, I can achieve this, I don't accept this. So we have a little grasp, but nothing truly whole. We don't know what is true love. We have only desires and possessiveness. We don't know what is true joy. We mix it with pleasure. We don't know what is power. It becomes domination, ego, thought. There's just a small grasp of light it has. It can't see the whole thing. So only beginnings are accomplished here. Our basis matter seems alone complete, an absolute machine without a soul. The absolute machine is matter. It works the way it has been, like a mechanism that has been set by another power. The world of matter functions without any problem. Or all seems a misfit of half ideas. Or we saddle with the vice of earthly form, a hurried imperfect glimpse of heavenly things. Gradually out of this world of matter, we try to create our notion of a beautiful world. But what is our notion of a beautiful world? Our notion of beauty or perfection or harmony changes as we change. When I'm at a certain stage of my own development, I think something beautiful. Later, I don't find it any beautiful anymore. It's gone. So it's always something that is moving, shifting, because we are ourselves moving. We are incomplete beings. So whatever we create in our hearts or our minds are incomplete as well. We saddle with the vice of earthly form, he calls it a vice, a hurried, imperfect glimpse of heavenly things. From time to time there is a glimpse of something beyond the earth. But on that vision of sudden, a flash of beauty or a flash of light, something that opens us to another world, immediately we put it down in some kind of formulation. We call it, this is a God, this God has to be like this, our own notions. We have so much trust in our own interpretations, in our own notions. So this is the God. He should be blue, he can't be white. He should be red, he should be small, he can't be great. All these, yes. So all these are, we place upon them, we saddle, it becomes a vice, it becomes a fault. As if an earthly form is fixed, and that is the problem often with religion. We have made fixed rules, fixed laws, fixed idols, fixed images, whereas the whole world of inner experience is something that is constantly moving fluidly, like a river towards the sea, freely, more and more, open, without any fixity. The moment you have fixed it into some kind of a clear-cut formula, you have limited it. You say, this is it, and only this. I have seen this image, I have seen this power, it has to have this shape, once and for all. That is where he calls it a vice. It's a strong word. He put an earthly form, fixed forms. Guesses, these forms which are guesses and travesties of celestial types. That's the whole thing. There's always the sense of something that is not an absolute direct knowledge which is permanent. I have felt something, and that may have been genuine, but I have held on to that feeling and given it my own image, my own formula. It becomes a kind of narrowing down of that truth to the fixity of my own understanding. Another may feel the same thing in a different way. What is God? When you say what is God, somebody may have felt something. Somebody else may have felt something else. And that is why the clash of all these different themes. There is no sureness. Knowledge comes only when it is complete and direct experience, identity. You become what you know, and then you are sure. When you have just a flash or a vision and that passes, it cannot be final. A travesty is a bad disguise. You've given it a shape and it's a bad shape. There is no conscious presence apparently for us. The world goes on, nobody seems to be looking after it. Here chaos sorts itself out into a world. Somehow the world goes on. Each atom is in its place, each planet moves in its orbit, but who is making it move? We don't see any presence, as if it just works itself out on its own, like we are. We also live. We don't know what makes us live. We don't know the force that is keeping us going. We think it is our force, it is our energy, our nature. We have no awareness that there is another conscious grace, a force, a power that is holding us up. So our world is constantly moving, changing. Our notion of reality changes all the time. So here chaos sorts itself into a world, a brief formation drifting in the void. Drifting in the void, void of ignorance, void of inconscience. We have some kind of an identity. Our life, our thought, our being, our nature is like a brief formation. Your formation, your nature, your being was something earlier. Today it is different. Tomorrow it will be different. Tomorrow may take 10 years or 100, doesn't matter. But it is not something which is complete. And if it is not complete, it will have to be brief. It will have to break. It is not complete, it is not absolute. Only absolutes remain. Apings of knowledge. Aping. Aping is a copy, like a monkey who copies without understanding why he copies. So, apings of knowledge, unfinished arcs of power, flamings of beauty into earthly shapes. Now and then, there is that. This is art. It's a sudden flash of a beautiful form. You give it an earthly form and you say art. But is there art where there is no form? There is a harmony of thought, harmony of feeling, harmony of sound. Music also is a form. It doesn't have a material form, but it has a form. But this is what we want. We want to give some identity, some formation, some reality. Flamings of beauty into earthly shape is there, but it is short, like a flame that burns for a while and then dies out. Love's broken reflexes of unity. Love is actually a need for unity. But it becomes a kind of desire for possessing. It's a reflex that does not allow the play of self-giving. It is not self-giving. It is claiming, it wants. I want. What I love, I want. It has to be according to my wishes. I don't believe, or I cannot achieve. I love, and I don't ask anything in return. There is no reflex. There is no demand. There is, like the divine, like the sun gives us light without asking us to worship the sun. The grace, the world is given to us. The whole universe, the play of energy, the play of divine protection is there. It is not asking us to thank it. If you thank the divine, good. If you don't thank, that protection is still there. But in our human experience, there is the tremendous problem of the ego. It demands. What I give, I must get. I must get a return. So it breaks. So these broken reflexes, because basically love is a need for unity. But unity is according to my, might say, satisfaction of desire. What I want, I have to get. I will not cease to demand. I don't know how to give. That is the problem of the human vital desire and ego. The whole problem of human nature is desire. That is where suffering comes from. This is the basis of Buddhism, actually. All suffering comes because of desire, attachment. That has to go. So here, these are the things that is the part of our human existence. Love's broken reflexes of unity swim, fragment mirrorings of a floating sun. There is, like our life is a big, constant ocean of life where the waters move all the time. There are patches of light, patches of sunlight. If the water is moving, you don't have constantly a sheet of water that is brilliant. It has patches of light and shade. This is our life, light and shade. Moments of joy, moments of pain, moments of failure, but nothing that you can say, this is constant. And what we, without knowing, want is that constancy, is that absoluteness, something that will be forever. And we don't know what is forever. We are so small in our whole consciousness. So here, all these things is what our life is, in our body, in our life, in our mind. Only the base, which is matter, which has no demands by itself. It is created, it obeys the law of the Creator. And so it seems whole. The rest is not. A packed assemblage of crude, tentative lives are pieced together, are pieced into a tessellated whole. There is no perfect answer to our hopes. There are blind, voiceless doors that have no key. Thought climbs in vain and brings a borrowed light, cheated by counterfeits sold to us in life's mart. Our hearts clutch at a forfeited heavenly bliss. This is what we have here. A packed assemblage of crude, tentative lives. It's not a collectivity only. We are asking for this kind of joy and perfection in life after life after life after life. We are evolving, and always when we evolve, it is followed by a fall. We rise to fall. It is so cruel, we don't even know how to climb. It's like climbing a staircase. Every few steps we go up and then we come down. We rise. Tentatively you say, this is the best. I want the best life possible. I want the best life possible for myself, for my family, for my children. And I want everything my way. Crudely, because my understanding is crude. My whole approach of perfection is so incomplete. What is this world? What is perfection? We all want perfection. We have no answer to that term perfection. What is perfect? Flawless, absolute. And we are flawed. We have full of errors, full of incompletenesses. So, this is the life of the individual. This is the life of the collectivity, because man is also part of a whole group, a collectivity, a humanity. He is not just... So in age after age, in history also, man is really one who is trying to advance, to find something greater, better for himself and for the world and for the community. But it is tentative, it is not final. So what has been obtained is lost. Because the base, the whole foundation is ignorance. We are trying to grow without strengthening our base. The base has to be not ignorance, but consciousness. I don't have consciousness, but I can learn surrender. I can allow another consciousness to take over. I can say that should be my guide. I myself don't have it. But if I can offer all of myself, put myself in the hands of another power, whom I know is is much greater than mine, who is my mother, I give it to her. Let her decide, let her choose. Then it is not tentative. But if I think I know best, I know what is good for me, I know this is what is right, I will try to make my life beautiful. I will try to make my group beautiful. I will try to make progress from stage to stage, whether it's the individual or in the collectivity. We want to grow, we want to change, we want... The best of us, we really all want to change. And we don't. We find that after a long attempt, we think we have arrived somewhere, we fall back and find we're exactly where we started. The same unconsciousness, the same imperfection, the same flaws, because the base is absolutely rooted in consciousnce. It is that the yoga of Sri Aurobindo start from the base. Change the base. Then your house, the structure you're building will be strong. We're building a structure, we're building a house with very poor foundations. It will have to fall. However high you may try to rise. So there is no perfect answer. Tessellated, by the way, is rarely used, but Sri Aurobindo's language is really so advanced. It is woven. To weave, tisser in French, you have the word tisser, no? Threads that go, because there are forces and vibrations that crisscross from the world of nature, from the world within us, from the world around us, from the world above, from the world below. We are at the meeting point of all kinds of forces that are at work. We absorb all kinds of forces. Just now you all have absorbed some kind of an infection in your throat. You didn't want it. You did not reject it because you didn't know how to. It just comes. Just as the force, the grace comes, the attack also comes. And we are not aware. Once it has settled in, then you realize, I've got this. So this is how we are. We are at the mercy of all kinds of forces. They're just put together. Am I a person? If I live consciously, I can accept something, I can reject something else. But if I am as he says, pieced together, fragments of certain parts, a little bit of this and a little bit of that, some consciousness, some unconsciousness, some ignorance, some light. Yes, no doubt man is not only ignorant. Fortunately, he has something else in him, something beautiful, something luminous, something that is full of aspiration, is certainly there. The opposite also is there. So it's a combination of different threads of nature. And sometimes these threads get knotted up, they become difficult to unravel, and so we stumble, we fall, we get hurt. There is no perfect answer to our hopes. Hope is a dream in the distance. Hope is some dream of perfection or a higher state which I have not reached. Today I don't have it, but someday I will. I put it in the distance and I try to move towards that hope. But how to arrive at that hope? How to achieve that hope? How to become an embodiment? That is the main thing. Sri Aurobindo says, you have to become what you want to. The ideal or the hope that you have to live it. It's not enough to have a dream. You have to embody it. Embody it means in every part of our being. There are parts in our being that resist, that don't want. It is always there. Therefore, there are blind, voiceless doors that have no key. This is the subconscious. How to get rid of these dark forces? Thought climbs in vain and brings a borrowed light. Because thought is something that wants clarity, it wants light, but it has to find a source of light. The source of light is above the mind. If I don't have a source of light, I'm having a borrowed light. So I cannot really control that play of light and shade in my nature because I don't know where the light comes from. The whole thing is always you have to turn to that origin of the divine consciousness. Until then, we are a mix of all kinds of forces, like a tessellated whole, like a fabric made of fibers and threads that run crisscross in different directions. So thought climbs in vain and brings a borrowed light, cheated by counterfeits sold to us in Life Smart. Life Smart market. You live for gain. You live not necessarily money. You live for joy, you live for happiness, you live for success. Each one has his own ideal, has his own dream. And you say, my mind will tell me how to arrive at this, how to fulfill my hope, then I will be able to really live that dream. It's always a counterfeit. Because I'm changing, so my dream changes as I change. My desires change as I change. Today I desire something I did not desire earlier. Tomorrow I will not be what I am today. So there is something so unstable, unsure. So what I call joy today, what I call happiness today, is a counterfeit happiness. It is not satisfaction. Happiness is not satisfaction. Happiness is something which has causeless. It has to be causeless. It is a state of consciousness, of light, of joy, of purity. And I am not yet like that. I am not pure. I am clutching at this and that attachment and desire. So it's always a counterfeit. It's a wrong vibration. We want a heavenly bliss, but our hearts clutch at a forfeited heavenly bliss. Forfeited is the thing. We have lost the right. To forfeit something is, I can't claim it anymore. Man wants the highest. As he starts the life divine by saying, the earliest preoccupation that man has is God, light, freedom, immortality. By what right does he have this? I cannot ask for something which is completely alien to my nature. If I'm asking for God or light, there has to be a connection within me to that, with that source of light. Only because there is light inside me, I can recognize light. If there is purity inside me or perfection inside me, then I can be really aware of perfection. This is what we are looking for, perfection. But I do not have any contact with that source of perfection which is always there. The divine is there inside us, but we have lost contact with that. That is the origin. We ask for other lesser satisfactions and say, this is perfect. Perfect is absolute. Perfect is divine. And if until we become conscious of that inner presence that is holding us up from within, from constantly guiding us, we have no right to say we live a perfect life. This is a perfect life on earth for men. Man's earliest dream is still a dream. We want a perfect life on earth. The others, yogas have said it is not possible because man is surrounded by so much darkness. So give up the earth and find that world of light and joy in some far off heaven. Why not? The world of ignorance, the world of darkness, the world of matter is also made by the same divine force. We are also children of the same origin. Then why should we not claim a part of our heritage? Only we don't realize that we can demand that, but we have to contribute. We have to accept to participate in our perfection. Different yogas, yes. Through bhakti or through jnana you can arrive somewhere, but you cannot really arrive fully, completely anywhere unless you have become a complete person. That is the yoga of self-perfection. You can become a perfect vessel of the divine if you have established that the possibility to manifest the divine in the vessel, in the being. So the whole yoga of Sri Aurobindo starts from below. The physical, the vital, the mental have to be perfected, strengthened, purified. And then only can we have heaven on earth. We want heaven. By heaven you mean perfection. We want something that is absolutely a world of where there is no suffering, where there is no clash, where there is no disharmony. Harmony, as he says, is the key. The divine law is beauty. A divine world of harmony shall be earth's law. This comes at the end. A divine harmony shall be earth's law. Beauty and joy. All these things have to be there. How can we establish harmony if in us there is discord? Within us, I am against myself because I have portions that pull me towards ignorance and darkness and ego. There are aspects in me that aspire and want the light and open to the divine. So I am at war with myself. I am really the one who is I have to choose. As Mother also says, choose. You want to be totally and open to the light? Yes, something can be done with you. You refuse totally to open to the light, you become a titan and asura. They are very strong, because in them that inner war is not there. Otherwise there is an inner war. In each of us there is an inner war. And that is the inner war without escape. So our hearts clutch at a forfeited heavenly bliss. What we call joy, what we call love, what we call happiness, we have forfeited it. We do not know how to experience these things because our heart is so small. We are so small. We are centered around our ego. If we go beyond the ego, go deep, deep inside, and find that that presence of the divine is always there. That is there. But until we experience that, we have forfeited our right. We have betrayed the divine. He has created us, we have turned away from him. We live for and by the ego. And yet we claim that there should be a blessing, there should be a guidance, there should be a grace, there should be a protection for me. By what right? As as Mother said at one point, you want to go to Sri Aurobindo's room. What have you done for him? Have you done something for him? What have you given? If I can say I have given myself, then it's different. But I go there to ask your blessing, your grace, your protection. I have no right. It's a betrayal. I know he is there, but I won't change. He has to come down to my level and give me what I want. This is what we are. And therefore in the next line he uses a strong word. He says, there is provender for mind satiety. Provender is food given to animals. It's very inferior animals, often given to pigs and things like that. Mind satiety. Satiety is satisfaction. When it is given, your mind gets all the answers. After a while, it stops to think. Satiety is a kind of satisfaction which comes after you have been over-satisfied. After that, you are not satisfied anymore. I've been given so much. I've been given all the blessings of the universe to such an extent that I don't even realize it anymore. I don't open myself to it anymore. I forget to be grateful for it anymore. My mind I forget. That is the thing, I lose contact. I forget, we take life for granted, we take the divine for granted. So this is the smallness of our human nature. We can't bear the pressure of something too great. There is provender for mind satiety. There are thrills of the flesh, but not the soul's desire. If he wanted the world desire, he's kept it. But the soul's desire, not the vital's desire, that the soul is eternal and the soul's call is eternal. The flesh is temporal, the vital is temporal, its desires are short-lived and changeable. Here, even the highest rapture time can give is a mimicry of ungrasped beatitudes. The highest rapture time can give, sometimes, whatever we, without having arrived at changing ourselves into manifestations or expressions of the eternal consciousness, we stay fixed in our smallness. There are still, the grace gives us moments of intense joy, intense power and light and knowledge. It might come, rishis do, they haven't transformed themselves wholly. One part of them have opened their beings and they have arrived at some kind of a connection with the divine. But it is a mimicry of ungrasped beatitudes. It's a bad imitation of beatitude. Beatitude is divine ananda. You cannot grasp it because our being cannot hold. That is the whole thing. How much of the divine, as Mother once gave us the example, how much can your little being, which is like a small bucket, you want to contain the infinite? It's like taking one bucket of the ocean and you say, yes, I have the ocean. There is a few drops of the ocean and you think that this is the highest. But the ocean exceeds our nature. Unless we exceed ourselves, unless we break out of our smallness, we will never be able to achieve that beatitude, that perfect Ananda. It is our basic dream, Ananda. Manifestation is perfection. Manifestation began with Ananda, as it is said in the Upanishads. The delight of creation is at the origin of things. The delight of creation maintains all things. Delight of creation, existence, is the goal of all things. But at present, it is a mimicry or a mutilated statue. A mutilated statue of ecstasy. Statue in the sense, you want to give it a form. It's not just an experience. You want to really give it a stable form, forever to be in that state. But it is mutilated. A wounded happiness that cannot live. A brief felicity of mind or sense throws by the world power to her body slaves. The world power is the universe of nature, the force of evolution, the mother power that helps us to grow and shapes us. So we are slaves of that power. Our whole nature is slowly shaped by her, gradually, and so there are moments of joy. It's not that there are none, but they're always brief, because the vessel, as I said, is small. Too much of a pressure coming into our being would break our being. Or a simulacrum, again a mimicry of enforced delight in the seraglios of ignorance. He is using the word seraglio, the field of vital pleasure and enjoyment that is used in the cultures of certain countries, like in Islam, where satisfaction of the senses is considered to be the highest satisfaction. So that is not Ananda. When you have satisfaction of the senses, satisfaction of joy, that is in the seraglios of ignorance. Why is it like that? Why are we forever again and again falling, failing? For all we have acquired soon loses worth. The seraglios of ignorance is an image. He uses the image for, these sheikhs, these Muslim sheikhs, who felt that you have so many concubines, so many women, so much satisfaction. The more you have, the greater you are. They don't realize that the lesser you are. You are trapped by those desires. Often, the more you have, the less you have. You are a prisoner of that. You're ignorant. Until we get rid of the original ignorance, there is no solution. The whole starting point is ignorance. As again Mother says, evil does not exist.
What is simulacrum?
Simulacrum. It's a bad copy. To simulate. It's a bad copy. It's like you said, this is Ananda. It is, if I have to give you a detailed example, you have all these kings, they have 200 or 300 or 500 concubines. Most of them they don't even see much of the time. But it gives them a sense of greatness and power, because I have so many palaces, so much that so many people so many women are under me. I have control over all these things. Is that power? Or is that slavery? I become a slave of my possessions. huh? And the person himself is trapped in that world of the vital passion. He has no freedom. So man is a slave. Why is it? For all we have acquired soon loses worth. That's the whole thing. The problem is life is a journey. We change. So what was is replaced by what is. What I had, what I loved, is replaced by what I am now and what I love now. So that has to be cast off, and something new has to replace it. Constantly, I keep on, my ideas change, my feelings change, my nature changes. So we hang on to the past, and yet we have forgotten that that is over. We cannot, that reality is not there anymore. Reality is what I am living by experience. If I can hold on to the eternal, the past and the present and the future, the eternal, that is forever, then nothing is lost. But that is why often the yogis would say, start with the eternal. Give up all the external world, start by looking for that which shall never go, the soul, the eternal. Once you have that, all the rest can be slowly acquired after that. But we often start the other way around. We think if I develop my physical, my vital, my mental nature, they have to be developed. But then I expand the capacities as well as the errors of each part of my mind. My mind has become very broad. It is full of errors. There is room for error. There is room for darkness. And I'm so sure of my mind. I say I have a very specially clever mind, intelligent mind, so I don't believe in anybody else except what my mind tells me. So if I read somebody wiser than me, if I read Sri Aurobindo and my mind can't grasp him, I say, it's not possible, this is not true, it's not making sense. It's not making sense to me because I think I believe only in my mind. So gradually this has to be understood. I have to constantly remove the darkness out of my nature, and that cannot go. The projection of that darkness has taken a form, a solid form. There is an ego. That is the greatest source of all our suffering. The mind has a huge ego. A developed, educated mind has a very big ego. Mind has an ego. The vital has the bigger ego, it is full of desires. The body is something that is very often inert. If it is aware, it says, I am like this, I can't do anything more than this. For all we have acquired soon loses worth. An old disvalued credit in time's bank. This actually I can explain. What's a disvalued credit? That money is not worth anything anymore, isn't it? It's over. There was all this, and there was a time when you say, you can't use 500 rupee notes, you can't use 200 rupee notes, they're finished. I have a lot of all that, but I've acquired all that knowledge for what? What has it given me? The value of those things is useless. Actually, if I acquire a lot of mental knowledge, I acquire a lot of mental baggage. I add a lot of difficulties for myself. Imperfections check, drawn on the inconscient. Because our foundation is the time's bank is inconscience. And so I can keep on multiplying my acquisitions. They become expressions of more and more imperfection. And inconsequence dogs every effort made. Inconsequence, something of little value. of very little value. Every effort, after some time, becomes useless. Do we remember all the past greatnesses, the empires that were built, the conquests that were made? Has anything really changed? History will make us study, this was a great emperor, he had done this. Today he's a name, he's just a word. Every effort is wiped off. We don't exist. We have absolutely no ability to really remain in touch with that. We have not developed that faculty, that be part of the eternal, not be part of that which is changing. Because that which is changing will change, like a river that flows all the time. And chaos waits on every cosmos formed. Therefore, every creation ends in a pralaya. Because the basis, the foundation, is not the foundation of truth. Half-truth. That is the problem. In each success, a seed of failure lurks. So it's not a very encouraging picture of man as he is. We have to wait for the end of the section to see the other side. This is always typical of Sri Aurobindo. He will present different aspects. Man is like this today. Everywhere, wherever he goes, he creates his own world and he brings his own difficulties, he brings his own errors with him. So he creates a world of error because he has not changed. And yet he is not meant to be like that. The purpose of man's existence is to manifest the divine. He can manifest the divine because the possibility is there. He has been created for that. He has forgotten. We have to renew our contact with that origin. We have forgotten what we came for, and so we have to refresh our connection with the divine all the time. And so toward the end he says, and yet a greater destiny may be his, if he wants to. He can recreate himself. He can recreate all around himself. He has been given that possibility. When we have been given all possibilities, why do we prefer the possibilities of darkness? Because they're closer at hand, they're easier. The greater light is hidden deep inside. We have to really dig deeper, deeper, deeper to find that presence. But on the shallow levels, the surface levels, certain powers are there and we try to manage with that, which is why we have those problems. So this is the image of man as he is creating, as described today, but it is not the ultimate image of man. It is not what he has been made for. Understand?